Hey there, it's your girlfriend Nikki Nokes, and I am back with my second vlog. And I realized my first vlog was a little long, so I am trying to bring that time down a little bit. So thanks for bearing with me as I'm getting the hang of this. My topic today is rushing into a relationship before it's right. And I wanted to start with a quote from Jane Austen in her book Pride and Prejudice. "It is a truth universally acknowledged that a single man in possession of a good fortune must be in want of a wife." And if you've been paying any attention to the articles that have been floating around, the relationship theme this week is that women are out earning men. And so, again, relationship prospects are low. So the 2010 version of Jane Austen's quote is that a single woman in possession of a job and income must be frantically searching for a husband to the point that she's driving herself insane and is borderline depressed. I don't necessarily think that that's 100% true, but it's probably 85% true, and especially in connection with the theme that we checklist girls, and I admit I'm a checklist girl myself, we've accomplished so much on our list of things, and that relationship open item is a glaring, gaping hole in our feeling of completion. Right? I mean, we're on the clock, and everything else has happened on time, but we're sitting here like, you know what? It's 1/2 schoolhouse car, and 1/4 to my next promotion. So where's my guy? You know, it doesn't work like that. You know, relationships are not exactly on the checklist method of accomplishment. It's a state of being, and in part circumstances, right? So here, I think of the story of Pinocchio, and we have Geppetto, who is a craftsman, and he's older, he's made his fortune, he's lonely, and so he decides he's going to fashion a boy out of wood. So he makes this child, this boy, Pinocchio, out of this wooden boy, and both Geppetto and Pinocchio acknowledge that Pinocchio's not a real boy, but Pinocchio has this burning desire inside of him to become a real boy, and he goes off and has these adventures in the course of becoming a real boy. And Geppetto was selflessly supportive of that process of development. But realize, ladies, in this story, Pinocchio had to leave Geppetto to realize his full potential. And Geppetto had to be completely unselfish to realize that even though he wanted someone in his life, and he had even taken the steps to create someone, that someone's journey to become the fullest potential of who they could be involved leaving, to go on their own, to have the adventures, or to take the path that was going to ultimately make them better. And yes, Pinocchio came back to Geppetto as a real boy. And so before we go too deeply down the rabbit hole in this analogy, which is possible, I'm going to bring it back to the woman-man interaction. Sometimes in your quest for a relationship, you come across a guy, and because this open space in your life is so big, it's like a vacuum that sucks him right in, and you want him to be right. You want him to be that guy. You want him to be the one, and he's not. He's not. And so if you could unselfishly support him in becoming the man that's right for you, the man that he wants to become, then maybe you'd be onto something. But more frequently what happens is you're trying to force him into the shoes that you want him to fill in your life, and he's not ready. And ladies, our financial stability, we don't calculate on the same basis that men do. As women, we think we're financially stable, and financial stability is not the only qualification here, or the only factor to evaluate in relationships, but it's a very, very significant one. So we think we're financially stable when we're able to take care of ourselves. But for men, the traditional role that they're playing in their mind, even just everything that they've been instructed about in terms of the role that they need to play, is that their financial stability, when they're ready for a serious permanent coupling, means that they are able to take care of themselves, a woman, and a family. So ladies, if you had to reevaluate your level of financial stability based on needing to make 3 times what you already make, 3 times what you make now, would you still feel like you were financially stable? Probably not. So men's feeling of stability, specifically financial stability, comes at a later time for them than it does for us. So we can't be forcing them to feel the way we feel because we have different sets of standards. So when I had this topic in mind, I threw the idea out to my writer page on Facebook, and it's facebook.com/author Nikki Nokes. And I got a couple of responses or suggestions that people wanted me to cover. And one was from Tanya and one was from Keith. So hi Tanya and Keith, thank you for responding. And Tanya wanted to know, when is the right time to drop your guard? And Keith wanted to know, well, what about someone who's insisting on dating someone that's bad for them, and no matter what they know inside and what people tell them, they're just not giving it up? Well, both of these questions, I was really excited because they fall right within what the topic that I'm discussing today. And in terms of dropping your guard, it depends on what you consider your guard, right? In my book, maybe it's you, what I classify as your guard, your protectors, are your standards. And standards are not objective criteria. Standards are the summary, the concept that you've created, that you've developed in your mind about where this relationship is going to take you personally in terms of along your course of development. And that doesn't mean that being in a relationship takes you from being alone to not alone. Okay, that's not what I mean. It means that your growth process, how is it facilitating your growth? If you're with someone that's not facilitating your growth, somehow that should violate your standards, and that person should be booted from your life immediately. So if your standards, maintaining your standards is your guard, you should never drop your guard. Not ever. Never. Because your relationship should always be causing your growth. And in terms of someone who you know is bad for you and everybody else around you knows is bad for you, let it go. Let it go. That relationship, unfortunately, if you haven't established your standards and you don't allow them to hold the line for you, keeping out people that will cause you to either not grow or be to your detriment, then you're out in the ocean with no raft. You're out there alone. You're in a very dangerous situation. Your standards are like your defense, your line of defense, and desperation and insistence on being in a relationship will cause you to make all your standards drop in friendly fire. Friendly fire. You've completely eliminated your entire protected force. So the way I think about it is, if somebody that was your friend treated you like the person was treating you in a relationship, would you or would you not continue to be friends with that person? Because I find so many people have a lower standard for how they're treated in a relationship than they do for how they're treated as a friend. Why is that? I'm going to leave you on that one. Marinate and discuss. And in the meantime, download my excerpt. It's at www.nikkynokes.com. It's free. It's the first 61 pages of the book, and maybe it's you. And it covers all of these topics and then some. And I look forward to your comments. Visit my writer page and leave me a note. Let me know what you think. And feel free to give me suggestions for the next vlog. All right. Until next time, thanks so much for watching. Bye.